Welcome back to Metta World News. I'm your host, Emily Austin. No, I'm joking. Welcome back to the Hoop Chat. I'm your host, Emily Austin, and here with me today is a man who really needs no introduction, Metta World Peace. Thanks for joining me today.
Thanks for having me.
It's my pleasure. It's actually an honor to have you in studio here. So thank you again for coming.
Absolutely. Talking some hoops, a little sports. You like sports? I'm
Yeah,
assuming.
I mean, to have you here today, it can't get much better, but you just came from St. John's?
Yeah, I just came from St. John's.
What were you doing?
Spoke to the women's basketball team, and I got a chance to meet Coach Patino.
Oh, cool.
And briefly speak to the men's basketball team, so it was great.
What'd you tell them?
Just work hard, and you don't have a lot of time, so you just gotta off the fly. But basically, when they win, we win. If they lose, we lose, and it's great to see Rick Pitino at St. John's.
Yeah, you like him?
Yeah, the history, the high level intensity. He's definitely a New York City guy. Coached the Knicks, and now he's at St. John's. You know what he wants. He wants to win a title.
Who doesn't?
Who doesn't?
What better place than New York?
I really hope he gets it.
Me too. I mean, I went to Hofstra. But
Shout out to Hofstra.
I mean, yeah, shout out to Speedy. You're cool.
Speedy collection.
Before we can continue, we were having a debate amongst us here in the studio. Is your name still Metta World Peace?
So my name is Metta World Peace. That's my stage name. But when I got married, I changed my last name to my wife's name. So it's now Sandiford Artest. So we both have Sandiford Artest. But I didn't necessarily want to, take my stage name away.
Yeah.
Because it was a message behind Metta World Peace, so I'm still just going by Metta World Peace.
Well, what was the message?
Really, I was getting more into meditation, and I saw that it was working for me, especially in Houston when I was with the Rockets. I saw that balance and meditation could really improve your game, and if you look at the playoff series I had against the Lakers, a lot of that was meditation.
Okay.
So then, when I came to the Lakers the next year, we won a title. And Phil was all, meditating, Zen master. So it was just, all the stars was aligned for me to just change my name. I actually studied the Hindi kind of culture.
Wow.
I was focusing more on that side of Buddhism versus the Asian side, versus the Chinese side of Buddhism or Japanese side, whatever. But it's all Asia, right?
Yeah.
Asia is more of a Buddhist content anyway. So it was inspired by a lot of quotes and different things that inspired me.
What's like your most favorite meditation practice?
I think my favorite one is a couple of them, but I think, taking 5 seconds in to breathe, taking 5 seconds out to breathe, relaxing your jaw, relaxing your shoulders, relaxing your stomach. And what a coincidence, those are all your lymphatic node areas too, right? I just thought about that just now, but
yeah.
But those are areas you also carry tension.
True.
And some people don't even know that they're walking around with tension. Your shoulders is up, jaws is tight.
Hold on.
You
crack it.
Got your forehead, you're kind of scrunching. This is another place where I like to just relax when I meditate and relax shoulders and stuff. But I haven't really practiced it in a long time.
You know what you would like then? A gua sha. I take a gua sha and I just kind of like go over my eyebrows a little bit. I do it when I do my skincare. Shout out to People's Beauty. But no, really, like I feel like the forehead carries a lot of stress. And when you just kind of brush it, you have to try that.
It's true.
See if I have an extra gua sha somewhere.
Oh, gua sha. Yeah, I like gua sha. I use it on my muscles.
Yeah, they're so good. How much of the game do you believe is mental versus physical?
The game is 80% mental.
Wow.
Yeah, I think it's 20% physical. And somebody said that a long time ago when I was younger. And then I started to apply it. And I'm like, oh, yeah, it is 80% mental because when you want to stop, you're either going to keep going or you're going to stop.
Right.
No matter what you're doing, working on your left hand, working on your jumper, lifting weights, it's always going to come down to, should I stop, should I stop, should I stop?
Yeah.
When you get those signals from your quads, when your quads is burning, then your glutes is burning, your shoulders are burning, your calves is burning, and your body's like, stop, you're tired. And then your mind's gonna tell you, nope, you should probably keep going.
Do you think enough NBA players pay attention to their mental health?
I think more now more than ever because the corporations, the associations, the teams, the clubs, they just getting more involved. Before, I think, when I got into the league, and even before, if you came out and said, hey, I have mental health issues or I'm feeling depressed or I'm sad, I think media would have just laughed. You're a big guy. Get this big guy a lollipop and put him back on the court. But as human beings, we're not exempt. No human is exempt from having feelings and emotions. So from that perspective, we all in it together.
No, for sure. And I read a really nice article about how you spoke so highly of your grandmother and how she was the anchor of your family. And then I also saw the same season she passed away, may she rest in peace. That was a season the whole Malice and the Palace went down. How strongly correlated do you think those two incidents were?
It was weird because I feel like the Malice would have happened anyway. Because I think even if I was calm or whatever the case may be, and I was calm, I was actually breathing on that table, and I just kind of going through some meditation, in real time meditation. But I think when my grandma passed away, it was kind of sad. We're used to having her around, and we're used to, she was a real anchor to the family, and to not just we have a core family that lives in actually Far Rockaway, and then we have outer family the Artesses, and I feel like she was a bridge to everything. So that was kind of sad. But I think with the brawl, I think that would have probably happened regardless because it was just you couldn't really prepare for someone to hit you. So that probably would have happened regardless.
Yeah, when that happened, what was going through your mind? A can of Coke was thrown at you?
It was a red cup of beer. Red cup of beer. But actually, I don't even know what was going through my mind because it happened so quick. If you look how fast I got up, that was a half a second.
Wow, something just switched.
I was just I was like, no way, nobody just hit me.
That's disrespectful.
I was furious, as you can see. I was furious. I'm not gonna lie. Should I have been that upset? And I think about it, yeah, I probably should have been that upset.
I agree.
Would I have done that again? Probably not. But I would be the same amount of upset, right? If somebody was to throw,
What's wild is I didn't know you were meditating on the table. So now you're trying to find your inner peace, and somebody throws something at you on the court you're not.
It was just bad timing. It was bad timing. But I forgave that person even though he lost me 50 to or whatever, in contracts and endorsements. But you know what? I feel like humans are more important than paper. So you could always collaborate with people and get that back. We got a long life to live.
I definitely think something we should work on as a society, not to get too philosophical, we're going to keep it hoops, is to just treat each other kinder. Before I was actually interviewing players, it's hard to remember. Everyone has feelings too, these headlines, the articles. People have feelings, and oh, there you go, got a napkin. I would hate to read something online about myself, and I'm like, oh my God, these people get this every day. So if you're watching this, be kind to everyone. Metta, I appreciate you. I don't know if you hear that enough, but I appreciate you.
Absolutely, I appreciate you too. I think sometimes as a fan, or you don't really understand that if you're talking about someone that they have feelings, because you're a fan, and that's what you have to accept a little bit of that because as personalities, as entertainers, we're on television to entertain.
Right.
So it's no class on how to be a fan or a spectator. Right? You just watch TV and you're looking at the ads and you're buying stuff, and those ads is paying for the commentators, for the players, and that's it, right? So, you don't want to lose that fan edge,
right? Because
it's super engaging for everyone. Everyone is thriving. Sports is thriving. Look at all the commentators and analysts. Everybody's getting paid, But it has to be something out there where as a human, some people might not be feeling good today, right? So you don't want to just compound that frustration,
Do you feel like that suspension, looking back, is something that was necessary for you at the time, that time off?
Well, right before that, I'm going to say yes, actually. And then I'm going to add to that, I was also going to retire that year.
No way.
Yes, so I called, put in my call for my retirement papers. I was also going to take off that year. So a couple things happened.
Why?
Well, I wanted to just realign my life at that point because there was a bunch of unbalanced things happening. So I said, you know what? I went to training camp, and I was feeling like this in August. I actually was feeling like this in August.
What were you feeling?
Just like I wanted to take the year off.
Okay.
Right, take the year off, and they can keep the money, but just take a year off. and just to like get everything aligned because you know I'm 4 years in playing well, but my lifestyle is not balanced, mostly because of me, right? So I just didn't feel balanced. Yeah, I didn't feel like I was ready.
Okay.
And I felt like I needed 1 year to just be a professional, you know, to say, okay, take care of your family. This is about to happen. You know, you're about to sign a new deal. This is how you should be. So I feel like when I was playing, I didn't have no chance to reset.
Right.
And even in the summertime, I go hard, 7 hours a day, 6 hours a day, you know, just working out. No reset.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I feel like, and then also the alcohol at that point, I was still drinking at that time, right? So I didn't realize that alcohol was a depressant. I didn't get into all that stuff, you know. So from that perspective, I probably would have came back upset because I was still drinking and going out.
What were your drinking habits at the time?
You know, just every time you go out.
Which was a lot, I'd assume.
It was a lot.
Okay.
Just go out and, you know, you just like, you're young, you know, so you just like pile it on.
Yeah.
You know, throw up your vegetables.
Well, that season came to an end, and ultimately you requested what I read was almost a controversial trade because everyone seemed to be upset by that.
Yeah.
Did you feel guilty at all?
Yeah, that trade request, it was just more compound frustration it had nothing to do with the team because I really did want to be there, but
why?
Why I wanted to be there?
Why did you not? Oh, you did.
Oh
want to
yeah,
be
I
there.
really wanted to be a Pacer, but it was just like so much at that time. There was so much pressure at that time on me, not for other people, but for me, it was a ton of pressure. The brawl just happened, and you know, I missed out on the All-Star game. Missed out on my second Defensive Player of the Year. That probably would have been mine again.
I agree.
You know, missed out on another All-Team NBA, and it was just like I couldn't get over that.
Yeah.
You know, I was super unbalanced, and I'm like, and then I'm still so competitive. I come back to practice like I never left, and I wasn't really apologetic at that age.
Did you feel like you should have been?
Oh, for sure. Inside, I was apologetic, but I didn't want to portray that I was apologetic. You know, so then not having no empathy, that made it worse on me because since I was like faking this not having empathy, it made it feel like I didn't have empathy.
Yeah.
Right? So when you don't have empathy for others, it's really not a good spot to be in. You know, that's why later in my career I became way more vulnerable because I played the tough guy role.
Yeah.
And I said, now it's time to just play a normal guy role.
Do you think if you hadn't played the tough guy, would things have panned out differently?
I think it would have been better. You know, one would say it's a gift and a curse to have that type of passion I had, and it helps, but it doesn't help. You know, people like it because it looks good on television, but sometimes having that much passion and the unbalanced emotional levels, you know, at any point in time, anything can go down. If you can't control your passion, you can't control your emotion. You know, so I feel like more of a meditation or meditative mindset, calm, balanced mindset. I feel like that's makes you stronger. Even being vulnerable. I feel like that combination with balance, with zenfulness, you know, I think that makes you stronger.
Well, I watched a different interview you did where this was after, I guess, you took up meditation. You can confirm or deny this. Kobe approached you, or you approached Kobe in a restaurant, and he told you that you lost your physicality. So where do you find that balance?
So that was funny. So after when I got to Sacramento, after the Pacers, I had this issue with being number one. And I was working for that. Even that year at the Brawl, we was looking really good. That was Steve Jackson, Jamal Tinsley, Jermaine O'Neal, Jeff Foster, me. Everybody worked on the game.
Yeah.
I worked on my game incredibly. My levels was way high, right? So from that perspective, because I knew in the West, there was Kobe and Shaq.
Yeah.
I wasn't thinking about nobody else. And I actually wasn't even really thinking about the Lakers, honestly. I was more thinking about just winning. Because I wasn't too concerned. You know, me and Steven, when we talk about we could have been really good. We never mentioned any of the greats, the Hall of Famers. We were just thinking about ourselves.
As you should.
You know, so Yeah, just a bummer. It was a missed opportunity to show people how great you can be. And if you really want to play with time, imagine if we could move that prime Metta to the Knicks.
Oh God!
Imagine a prime.
You're talking to the
world
New Yorker
peace.
in the room. I mean, you're the New Yorker
Come
too.
on. I wish you could. I wish I could reverse time. I would put myself in the Knicks jersey.
Oh God, I would have that jersey would have been here hanging in the studio.
In my prime, not my old Metta World piece.
The
when I
prime
couldn't
Metta
even
World.
run anymore.
Well, ultimately, you did become an NBA championship. So hindsight being 2020, was it all worth it?
Yeah, definitely, it was worth it. I'm still counting all the awards that I dropped, you know, because I had my attitude, or maybe because people was not voting for me, whatever the case may be. I'm missing about 10 of them, but I think, like, you know, when I look at it, a lot of people are happy with my career. A lot of people are happy.
Yeah.
I'm not.
Well, okay. So what would you have done differently?
Not going in the brawl, not going to stands. That's
Okay.
one. I'm probably not the year before that, not get as many flagrants and technical fouls. Because that year, you know, Ben Wallace won 4 Defensive Player of the Years. So when he won 2, that third one, you know, I was in the mix. So I felt like my attitude dropped me down. You know, and then it also left me off a first team all defense because I finished second in Defensive Player of the Year voting one year, but I didn't even make the first team all defense. That's because somebody's not voting for you. And then the next year I get suspended, so now you not only you miss out on Defensive Player of the Year, you miss out on the All-Star appearance,
Yeah.
and you miss out on the All-NBA team, and you miss out on, you know, whatever other things come with that, right? So just from that perspective, you know, I'm just not too happy or satisfied. So that's why I'm trying to put all that passion into other things these days.
Well, you could take it from my perspective that we're big fans. We're very satisfied, but ultimately your satisfaction might be equally as important. But don't be too hard on yourself.
Yeah, thanks.
I mean, everyone's your own harshest critic. And if you're not, you should
Yeah.
be. I think being an NBA championship is quite impressive, let alone winning a chip side by side of Kobe Bryant. Kobe being your teammate, what was your strongest memory that you can share with us?
My strongest with Kobe, it was the work. It was the hard work. You know, I'm so competitive. It's an unbalanced level of when I'm thinking about what I got to do that night. Kobe the same way, but Kobe has more of a control. I'm doing what Kobe did his whole career. I'm kind of doing that now, putting that passion somewhere. That passion should be focused on your game, on your improvement. So if you're feeling like you're upset or whatever the case may be, don't get a flag foul. Don't argue with the coach. Go work on your left hand. Go work on your right hand. Go work on your jab. And I learned that from Kobe, you know, and just practicing against Kobe. And it was just a competitive duo, especially on opposite sides. Obviously, he's way more skilled on offense, right? So he won a lot of the battles for sure. But I think he respects how we just clashed. We clashed because, especially on opposite sides, because I want that. And he wants it. You know, and I think that's where our respect grew, not where like I was on the same level skill-wise, but when it comes to that animal inside, right, I think he was like, wow. I think he used to smile. And he'll smile for things, you know, that others would not smile about,
Yeah.
right? If I'm like, you know, hustling or working hard, just running all over the floor in practice, diving on things people don't see in practice, he's just like, yes.
Well, we all know the famous line, Kobe passed me the ball. And he did pass you the ball, but you earned it.
Definitely. You know, he saw how I was working on my game. And then right before that season, I was averaging 25 against them in the playoffs. So, and I was always a go-to guy. So from that perspective, he knew what I can do. And, you know, he just like, he could have swung at the Fisher in the corner. We had Lamar in the other corner. I was over here. Powell was underneath. And you know what? He could have gave that ball to anybody. But that pass, I actually wish I would have never said that because it takes away, that pass created my legacy. You know, the journey from that ball from Kobe's hands to my hands, that's a journey That's basically my whole career. You know, boom, I hit a shot, then people think, oh, wow, that Metta is great, but people don't realize that I was really good, but when I got with the Lakers, I was a role player. And some people was like, why did they make a big deal about Metta? Because if you never seen me play, they couldn't guard me. They couldn't guard me. Yeah, maybe a few of them, but they couldn't guard me.
Yeah.
Too small.
These are my favorite stories. Sometimes they happen organically, sometimes not. But is there any, I guess you could call it a locker room story you've never shared, funny moment that, you know, maybe you remembered late night one day?
My funniest story I have is when Brad Miller, probably one of my best friends in the NBA, we spent a lot of time together, 3 different teams together, and he's a hunter. You know,
like hunting.
Yeah,
animals.
hunting
Okay.
animals. You know, Brad's a hippie. Shout out to all my vegans, but you know, Brad loves meat.
I'm vegan.
Brad loves meat. You know, I like meat too. I like both. But he would bring in things he hunted and just leave it on Mike Bibby's locker, and he'd mask it with like towels or like a jersey, and Mike would be coming to practice. It'd be a dead turkey.
No.
You know,
What was
Brad,
the
what do you
wildest
think?
thing? What's the wildest animal?
Deer head. I think turkey, maybe a couple other things.
Oh my!
Yeah, and then
I
he
hope
would
he
bring in.
received it well.
You know, it was just like it was shocking. Like you don't want a turkey here in your locker room. Not when you're focused. Like, I'm gonna have a good practice. You know, I'm gonna bust somebody's butt in practice. I'm gonna work hard. Now you got a dead turkey. You know, right? And
It's a great prank.
Yeah.
But it seems like it was more than one prank.
it was funny. Yeah. That
That's
was one of my
actually
funniest
awesome.
moments.
I love that. That's awesome. Have you shared that before?
I did that twice. I think I try not to share a ton of stories because I'm not speaking to the guys, and I know everybody wants stories, but that one I think is funny. So hopefully Brad is okay with me telling that story.
Sorry, Brad. When I announced you were coming on, the fans were super excited, and I allowed them to ask you some questions. But it seems like they wanted to know the current events. So they wanted to know, what are your thoughts on Harden calling Daryl Morey a liar?
Well, I did see it. Sometimes I avoid. Sometimes I would say, "Oh, I didn't see that." No, but I did see it. That's something between them, honestly. I did see it, and you know, I think the relationship between player and front office is different now. It's
How
not
so?
like because the player got more power now, as they should, right? The player got more power now, so I didn't really want to get in between that. And I'm not a journalist. I can write rhymes, but I'm not a
Do
journalist.
it. Prove it.
I can write. Probably could be a good journalist, but
Not too late.
I'm also not I'm not in the media, right? So I try not to get certain conversations I don't want to be a part of, you know, because I'm not looking for attention. You know, I'm not looking for sound bites like I used to. You know, so but it was, you know, I thought it was a little bit unfortunate because, you know, I thought they built the history together, Rockets and Sixers, so hopefully they could patch that up.
For sure.
But, you know, obviously he was upset about something.
Yeah.
I still to this day don't know what happened.
Another fan wants to know, do you think the Dame trade to the Heat is going to go down?
Yeah, I never want to see Dame leave Portland.
You don't?
Nah, he'll be respected as a champion whether he wins one or not. I would like to see some players go to Portland.
Yeah, huh? Why is that never a part of the conversation?
Yeah, it would be nice. Like Dame is someone that wants to win. You know, he's not only super incredibly gifted on offense. Notice I said on offense, but I think he's the type of person. If you want to be a stable player, you know, you want to be around Dame. So, you know, I think it's worth going to play with him. You know, because you're talking about somebody who's staying the course. That's the type of mindset you need when you're going into the playoffs. Ups and downs. You know, so it would be nice to get some players to just go join him. You know, give him a shot. I don't ever want to see him leave Portland.
Why do you think people are not going to Portland? Why is the conversation always, let's extract Dame from Portland and never, you know?
Yeah, maybe they got to have Metta or Peach recruit.
Yeah,
Just tell me who you want. I'll go get him and bring him and tell them you have no choice but to sign any of those other teams. Tell them you're not signing. And and typically people do what I say now.
As they should.
No, but I don't know. I think I don't know why. Maybe it's a great landscape.
Mm-hmm.
You get a house in the forest somewhere, overlooking the mountain. You gotta make it work for you. Because Portland is a beautiful looking place.
Yeah.
It's not like LA, but it's a beautiful looking place.
I agree. I went on a nice hike in Portland once.
Yeah. Oh, and they also got a lot of great designers in Portland.
Really?
Yeah, shoe designers.
I didn't hear of that.
Oh, Portland for shoe designing is incredible. So it's an opportunity for you to, maybe connect with some of the designers.
Don't oversell Portland. The front office is going to hire you.
Oh, yeah, I know. Yeah, I like, yeah.
No working for free.
$5.
Well, I know you have a family dinner tonight, but before my guests go, I love to play games with them. And for you, I thought Would You Rather would be fun. So I got 4 prompts for you up there. First one being, would you rather never win a championship, but get $30 million a year, or win 5 championships, but you get $1 million or $2 million a year?
5 championships.
Yeah?
Yeah. Definitely 5 championships.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a famous article that came out in Sacramento, famous in Sacramento, that I was going to give up my salary to keep Bonzi Wells and Rick Adelman, because I didn't know that they wasn't re-signing Bonzi. I didn't know that Rick Adelman was leaving. Mm-hmm. I just woke up one day and Bonzi's gone because he wanted a little bit more money, and Rick Adelman. So I said, this is easy to me. Just give Bonzi my salary.
Wow.
Right? And I'll figure everything else out. But, I would have totally just handed that over to him, honestly, for him to stay, because we just had a great season, took the Spurs to Game 6. I twisted my ankle in Game 6. It was a hell of a series. I got traded in January. We was in last place when I got there.
Wow.
Then I helped take that team to the playoffs. Sharif Abdul's only playoff appearance. So I'm like really happy that I was able to be a part of that. And I was on a team with Corliss Williamson, an unbelievable defensive mind. And I thought we was going to build on something. So, the win is also way more important. There's also like a couple pictures you'll see. I posted on my Instagram where I had thumb surgery and I came back in 7 days. Supposed to be out 6 weeks.
Yeah.
And the games they didn't even have any meaning. But I just say that because the win is most. I only got 1 championship, but I wish I had more. I definitely wish I had more.
That's very noble of you.
Absolutely. Thank you.
I don't know if everyone's that generous with their money.
Well, just sometimes you just only think about the game.
True.
I was never really thinking about money. I was only thinking about the game. It was always the principle with me and stuff like that. But the 5 championships would be really cool.
I think that's part of the competitiveness that you have in you. No, I respect it. I love it.
Yeah, I wish I could actually have 5 rings. But I got 2. I got 1 as a player, and then I got 1 because of LeBron and AD. The Lakers sent me a boxed championship ring, and I'm counting that one.
You know what? As you should.
I'm counting that one.
As you should.
Thanks to AD and LeBron and Coach Vogel.
AD and LeBron, if you're watching this, shout out to you guys.
2 rings.
Yes. Would you rather dunk on Hakeem Olajuwon or block MJ?
That's interesting. Would I rather dunk on Hakeem Olajuwon or block MJ? I think blocking MJ is gonna go viral for years. It'll turn into an NFT. In 100 years, it'll turn into a Picasso art piece that we probably wouldn't own unless we had royalties on in a contract with the photographer. But anyway, it would be big.
So you've thought about this before.
But yeah, I think a block on MJ would probably, if I had to pick one of the 2.
Everlasting.
Yeah.
Would you rather be the worst player on a fantastic team or the best player on a horrible team?
The best player on the horrible team.
I already knew, I feel like I already got to know you this interview.
I don't want to be the worst player on the
Yeah, I already
fantastic
know. Okay, this one I don't know the answer to. Would you rather airball a 3 or miss a layup?
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, this one's tough.
Those are both difficult.
Yeah.
Missing a layup, I'd rather miss a layup.
Really?
Yeah, I don't want to airball a 3.
But a 3 is probably harder to make than a. I mean, I can't make one layup.
But
by the way.
it's just too much time for people to say boo. I'd rather miss a layup.
That's all I got for you today. Thank you so much for joining me on the Hoop Chat. Thanks for coming live in the studio from New York, where you were born.
Absolutely.
It's New Yorkers who keep it real.
Thanks, Emily. Thanks for having me.
Have fun in your rest of your
Been seeing
trip.
your show, and you're starting very young, by the way, so keep it going.
Thank you. It means the world coming from you.
Absolutely.
All right.